What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, guys. Back with another YouTube video. Guys, I'm excited. I've finally finished school, man. I'm got my diploma. All that great stuff has happened. We're done with sports. Officially, I am on my side anyway. On to the content that I've been promising y'all for so long. And there's some games that I'm super duper excited about. I know a lot of y'all follow the Dragon Ball stuff on the channel. But some of y'all who may not be familiar, I used to cover Madden for a long time. And I love football. Football is one of my passions as a football coach myself, wanting to work my way into coaching at the Division I collegiate level at that. I love football. And no football game has been more dear to my heart. This college football has been my all-time favorite game next to Dragon Ball. Like, the passion that I've had for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball games, I have that same passion for college football on the sports side of things, guys. So I want to also devote my channel. I'm still going to cover Dragon Ball. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to cover Sparking Zero, continue to cover Kakarot, but I also am going to cover college football 25 and beyond because I freaking love college football. I wish I still had my PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 right now. I'd be playing NCAA 14 religiously. Guys, there is the level of hype that I have for this game that is coming out in just April, May, June, July, like 3 months from now. Essentially, unreal. I have waited so long for a college football game to drop since 14 came out. This was something that me and my brother would wait for every single summer. The release of college football, man. From the Game Breaker days on PlayStation 1 to NCAA on PlayStation 2 and 3. Guys, I love college football. Texas Longhorns is my team, okay? I'm saying that up front. And I cannot wait to start a dynasty with them. That is going to be fun. And playing it on next gen is going to be unreal. I've heard many good things about what's coming to this game and stuff like that. And I kind of want to talk about that stuff today, as well as my expectations or lack thereof, I guess, more or less. So first off, looking at the website, we've already know the official release trailer. They didn't show much in the release trailer, but we'll play it anyway. Let's there's just the guys sitting in the bleachers talking, like, they're not talking about much. They're not showing much. Much wasn't shown aside from like the renders of the mascots right here. You seeing that right there. That was shown off a little bit, and then the uniforms were kind of shown off as well. Where is that at? I'll probably skip that, tremendously skip that. Right there, the renders of the uniforms. Okay. I want to back up a sec. I mean, if I can look at that. I mean, the level of detail. We already know detail is going to be a big deal. Next generation consoles like PS5s, Xbox Series X, stuff like that. You expect that. You get that in Madden already. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. Like, if you look back at 14, for example, Madden and NCAA they had a different look. They had a different feel to it. One thing I like more about college football as opposed to the NFL and Madden and stuff like that is because NCAA football, like Madden, okay, you got 32 teams. And for the most part, people tend to have a favorite NFL team. Me, I don't. I just play with whatever. It doesn't feel unique. I mean, there's 32 teams. You're playing the exact same teams every single year as far as your division, for the most part. You play some different ones here and there, but for the most part, you're playing the same teams. You go to the same playoffs, playing some of the same teams. You go to the Super Bowl. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You have the same roster for the most part for the majority of your franchise, and it gets mundane. It gets run down. It gets boring. Not to mention, there is no addition of the college football players from the game into the Madden game. You get the random guys, but it doesn't have the same effect as having the real life counterparts. All right. Now, college football Back in 14, there were 119 teams or 114 teams, I believe, 14 or 19 in the game. Like, you could literally play with anybody. Not only that, but you could customize the conferences. And in that version of the game, you didn't have the playoffs, but you had the BCS bowls and stuff, which I'm so excited for the playoffs in the game because that adds so much depth and longevity to the game. Because prior to that, if I wanted to play with, say, Louisiana Tech, let's just throw them out there. I'm just using them for an example. I would have to go undefeated for like 2 or 3 seasons. I would have to customize my roster to where my non-conference opponents were all Power 5 teams in the top 5 to even get a shot at being highly ranked enough to play in the national championship game. You get what I'm saying? Whereas with the playoff system, if you win your conference, you're automatically in. You see what I'm saying? And then you got some at-large bids and stuff like that. So now, I could take a lower ranked team, still using that example of like a Louisiana Tech, no shot at L Tech. They still D1, it is what it is. But they're not a Power 5 team. I could take a non-Power 5 team, win games, and build them up. Something that I'm interested in, that I would like to see as far as team building goes, in prior renditions of the game, in NCAA 14, for example, the more games you won, your school had a star rating for like the facilities, the weight room, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? The more games you won, the more notoriety your program got, the more championships, bowl games, etc., top draft picks, all that contributed to your college being raised a star and things like that. It was so cool taking those 1-star programs up to like the 5, or I think maybe it went up to 6-star. I think it was 5-star programs. The 5 max was the 5 stars or 6 stars. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. All right. That was super cool. But, I still kind of wanted some kind of visual representation of that. There has been rumor that you will possibly be able to upgrade your stadium. Okay. In 14, you couldn't upgrade the stadium, And is it going to be the same upgrade, kind of like Madden, where you can rebuild a stadium, but it's kind of generic? That's all well and fine. It's okay. One thing that I wish that they would do is go back to the old days of the Team Builder application, where you had a little bit more range as far as customizing your stadium and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And if worst case scenario, they just throw in the old generic stuff like they got in Madden as far as the stadium creation, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm fine with that at the end of the day. I want to say they had it in 14 as well. But regardless, I'm okay with that, okay? I want to be able to upgrade my stadium. You know what I'm saying? I wish it was a way that you could be a little bit more detailed with it. That would be fantastic. Maybe knock out the homestand, the one side, and put in a bowl or whatever. Using that same area layout would be dope. But regardless, being able to upgrade your stadium, that is a must. Have some kind of visual representation of the weight room or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That part of building a program is so satisfying because now you're attracting those 4 and 5-star recruits, because some of those recruits do care about the facilities. And like I said, 14 reflected that with a star rating, but there was kind of no visual representation of that, especially when you would get out onto the field, because if I was playing Louisiana Tech, I couldn't create a new stadium for Louisiana Tech in the game. Does that make sense? I want to be able to do that. And I'm not playing with Louisiana Tech, guys. I'm just using them as an example. A non-Power 5 school, whoever you played with, you couldn't change the stadium unless you did it on the Team Builder app. And, you would build the team on there and just use their generic rosters and stuff. But it wasn't the same feeling because it wasn't the authentic Longhorns, if that makes sense, if I'm playing with the Texas Longhorns. You get what I'm saying? Put it in the game like you do with Madden with the build a stadium feature or whatever like that. Where you can renovate the stadium and it's in the exact same location. You don't have to move cities or anything. Put that in the game. You know what I'm saying? Let us see little weight room walkthroughs or stuff like that. That stuff would be crazy dope. But looking at the uniforms here, I mean, it's nothing to be expected. Like, it looks good. This is what we expect. We saw glimpses of NCAA football in previous Madden renditions of the game, and it was fantastic. I think it was not this year's Madden, not 24. I want to say 22, where Road to Glory, you got to actually play through like the college football playoffs with Texas and Oregon and stuff like that, different teams. that was so cool getting to kind of see, hey, this is kind of what this next generation of NCAA football would look like. You know what I'm saying? This stuff looks fantastic. This stuff looks amazing. And I'm super excited to get it, super excited to play it. And I'm more excited to hear what y'all think about it. Like, are y'all college football fans? Where are you at, man? Subscribe to the channel right now because, like I said, this is a game that I'm going to be covering closely. The release date is expected to be around July. We already know that. You know what I'm saying? Cool part is within a few weeks, couple of weeks, we are going to be getting a full reveal for EA Sports College Football 25. Now, I'm on Operation Sports channel right here. I'm on their website here, and I just wanted to kind of read through some stuff that they kind of talked about and stuff like that. Just touching bases on some more stuff that I may have missed in my talk about the game and stuff like that. EA Sports not confirmed anything as of yet, but all signs point to a July release date as of now. And that's when the game normally released. It normally released around July. I mean, that goes without saying. I don't think anybody would expect it earlier. However, if you have EA Play, you would get the game. I think it was like 3 days earlier they had that 10-hour trial. Oh my gosh. I hope they do that. I'm pretty sure they will. They've done it with all their games, sports games and stuff like that. So that's going to be really dope. If they have an edition, I'm telling you, college, if they have an edition to where you can get it 3 days earlier, the full game, I'm getting it. I don't care if it's $300. I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to play this game ASAP. EA Sports has pointed out at summer window for the game that likely means mid-July. Back in the day, this is when NCAA football would come out, and it fits nicely as it gives the college about a month or so before the new release of Madden, and that is accurate. It's not much stuff like that. This is just stuff from the trailer, just showing like renders and stuff like that. The transfer portal is going to be a thing in the game. And one thing about the transfer portal, guys, that we need to remember, it was in NCAA 14 and previous renditions of the game. You would have a player that would transfer at some part during the recruiting process. You would have a list of players that are interested in transferring to your school. You could either accept or deny. If I'm not mistaken, you could deny a transfer. Your players could transfer out, and there was nothing you could do about it. Or no, you could talk them into staying. You could talk a player into staying. The thing about the transfer then is it was very few players. It wasn't a portal that you reached into. The game would just randomly drop a transfer into your signing class, and they had to sit out an entire season, so you automatically had to redshirt them. The beautiful thing about the transfer portal, guys, that's going to be in college football 25 is it's basically free agency for college football. So not only are you going to be able to dig through your recruits, but you're also going to be able to dig through the transfer portal and stuff like that. That's super cool because it resembles more of the NFL in the sense of like your high school recruits are more like your college draft picks for the NFL, and then your free agency is just the guys that are already playing college football or NFL. In the analogy there, the comparison there. So that's going to be a really cool element. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get those experienced guys and things like that you already have stats on and things, as well as going to recruit some new blood. It adds a level of depth to building your team. Do you want to be one of those guys that, hey, I want to build an experienced team that is based on the portal? Or do I just want to build from the ground up? I want a youthful team that I'm going to build and be able to mold into how I want them molded into. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about the transfer portal being in this game is that you could get a team. You could get a non-Power 5 team, and you can immediately make them better, overnight, in a sense, as opposed to going the recruiting route and having to build up their recruit, possibly redshirt them and things like that. I hope that they have some form of training in the game that would add so much depth into developing your players. Do you want to develop them for strength? Do you want to develop them for speed? Things like that would be really cool. I don't think they'll do it, but it would be awesome if they did. So transfer portal is a huge plus, in my opinion, to the game. I'm wondering if NIL stuff is going to be in the game. That would be really cool addition because that all plays a factor. You know what I'm saying? Your school could, based on your performance, have so many funds that you can allocate into NIL that could attract recruits. That would be really dope, or if you're playing the single player career mode, if you will, all of that stuff playing a factor into the game. I'm super dope and excited. It's super dope and I'm super excited for it. The commentary, one thing Kirk Herbstreit pointed out or talked about was the potential of having multiple broadcast teams. Oh my God. I hope and I pray that this is true. Multiple broadcast teams. Picture, having a game ESPN or having the Longhorn Network or CBS broadcast, the ABC broadcast team with Brent Musburger and guys like that. Like, dude, that would be so freaking dope. And please, EA, for the love of God, give us a halftime show. I'd love some highlights, but you want to know something? The halftime show that we had in NCAA 14, that was pretty cool. They went through, showed the different games and stuff like that, talked about different players and stats and things like that. It was a little bit different than Madden because it resembled exactly what we saw on TV, So I really hope that they do that. I know they've talked about in the past, well, we don't really do a halftime show because the highlight things, it show the same things over and over. People don't really care. We just want to see a quarterback drop back, throw a 50-yard bomb. We want to see a running back break a 45-yard run. We want to see a big hit from the starting linebacker. Like, I don't care if it's the recycled clips. No one cares. It's part of the experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty cool as well. Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler, David Pollack, Jesse Palmer, Kevin Connors, Reese Davis, and Desmond Howard have all officially announced they will be voices in the game. Guys, all of these guys aren't going to be broadcasting the same time. Normally it's just two people. You know what I'm saying? You may get Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit in there, or maybe Reese Davis used to do the halftime thing in 14. Reese Davis always presented that. And you got a couple extra guys on here. Like, this could be pretty interesting. That's a lot of ESPN names, and it leads to the question about whether ESPN integration will return as well. This is unclear because EA and ESPN no longer have the same licensing agreement they had back in the day when NBA Live and NCAA both had tons of ESPN integration. At the very least, it seems we'll either get multiple broadcast teams or some sort of teams that exist for mostly pregame and halftime segments. Either way, I'm excited. Man. The licensing, that's not really important. They're making a game. More than likely, guys, we'll be able to import. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to import those guys into the next rendition of the game. This is what 14 looked like. What's crazy about how this looks, guys, this was 2 console generations ago. That is insane that it still looks this good. Now, when you playing it, you looking at it, yeah, when you're actually playing NCAA 14 now, if you went back and played it, you can feel the difference in the game. And that's what I struggled. That's why I really hadn't just, let me go get a previous gen console and play this. Because looking at it, and the idea sounds well, but when you actually start playing the game, it's like, bro, this is really like not it. The players, you can see the technological advancements in player movement and stuff like that they've incorporated into the newer generations of these football and sports games and stuff like that. Be that as it may, the game is still awesome. So game modes, it's clear that Dynasty mode and Ultimate Team will now be in the game. The way EA has hinted at things, it also seems Road to Glory will be there as well. I don't see why it wouldn't. Ultimate Team was obviously not a major thing. I don't see it being a major thing now, but it could be. Who knows? It's likely EA will lean on former college players as well here. So expect kind of the same type of game modes and stuff like that. EA is using the Madden engine as a starting point for the game. Both games are being made at the same studio like the old days. All right. So I figure online Dynasty mode will also make it into the game since online franchise mode exists in Madden. Now, guys, you're going to hear that it's being built with the same engine as Madden, guys. But you have to understand this game is being made from the ground up. It's not like Madden where they have to improve things here and there every year. They're not building it from the ground up. This game has been built from the ground up. I think it's going to play better than Madden. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you. The people that say, Madden plays terrible are the ones that play it competitively every single day. You know, I work, I have a family and stuff like that. I don't expect a perfect college football game. Part of it, yeah, well, NCAA 14 didn't play perfect. You know what I'm saying? There's no game that does. It had its flaws, don't get me wrong, but part of it was very overshadowed by the whole college process, the recruiting, the team building, you know, the big time games, the bowl games, the championship games, all of that stuff, the presentation, good God, like, you know, took away from those lower elements to make a complete game, make a full game. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Again, like I said, they're going to do a full reveal this May, within a couple of weeks or so. And so we'll finally get to start seeing it. I don't expect them to roll everything out at one time, though. Expect it to kind of be like, man, hey, this week we're going to show Dynasty. Hey, this week we're going to show Road to Glory. Hey, this week we're going to talk about presentation. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So, man, I wish that I was a game changer and I had a thing with EA Sports right now. That'd be crazy dope to see, but I don't. So, guys, that's all the information that I have right now. Aside from that, like I said, subscribe to the channel. I will start breaking stuff down and I could go into more detail about it and my expectations and what I think as far as like the transfer portal, you know, do a video on that, a video on recruiting and gameplay and whatever, scheme fits and stuff like that. So if you'd like to hear all the information, let me know what you would like to see a video on about this game down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. I can't grow without y'all. Y'all make all of this stuff possible, and I'm appreciative, and I'm very thankful. That's all I got for right now, y'all. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.